All right, guys, this right here is wild. This is wild. It genuinely looks like Joe Manchin may run for president as a no labels candidate. I don't know if they've created a no labels party or if he would just run as an independent. My guess is he would just run as an independent in the general. But the whole idea is we're going to have a centrist, moderate presidential candidate. That's what we're going to do. So the reason why I say this is Joe Manchin apparently was asked a bunch of questions about this, and his reaction was the same as it was a month or two ago, where he was like, everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. So he hasn't ruled out a presidential bid. That is wild, man. Because he's not a popular politician. He's not a liked politician. In fact, he's despised. But he thinks, oh no, I'm going to bring this country back to reason and sanity, and I'm going to run as a centrist candidate. Okay, so let me walk you through this. This is in the Washington Post. No Labels releases proposals to guide third-party presidential ticket. Quote, strike a balance on abortion access. Promote all of the above energy production. Act now to address Social Security solvency. Stop releasing asylum applicants into the country. Protect transgender people from discrimination while restricting gender education in elementary schools. You see what they're trying to do here? I mean, look, they're just trying to split the difference between the corporate Republicans and the corporate Democrats. That's what they're trying to do. So let's go through it. Strike a balance on abortion. I got news for you. If you want to strike a balance on the issue of abortion, then you just have a Democratic position. Because that's what Roe v. Wade is. Roe v. Wade is the Democratic Party position, and it is a moderate decision. First trimester abortion is a right. Second one, you could have some regulations. Third one, if states so choose, they could ban late-term abortion. That's Roe v. Wade. That's the Democratic position. But they're trying to say, no, we're going to be in the place between the Democrats and the Republicans. We'll strike a balance there. Okay, well, then that position is too far right. That's what that would be. All of the above energy means let's keep oil drilling, let's keep fracking, who cares about climate change, let's continue down this path. Address Social Security solvency means let's cut Social Security. Let's reduce the social safety net. That's what that means. Stop releasing asylum applicants into the country. Again, if you want the quote-unquote moderate position on the border and immigration, you're just like Joe Biden. Joe Biden still did a lot of the Trump-era policies, right? He made it a little softer in some ways, but that's just the Democratic position. They're acting like they have this magical third position, which is in between the extremes of both parties. And then I love the protect transgender people from discrimination, but also don't say a word about them in schools, act like they don't exist in schools. They continue, such ideas anchor the new political middle ground that the moderate group No Labels proposed Saturday as a starting point for a possible third-party presidential bid next year. The broad statements of principle, compiled in book form and scheduled for a rollout Monday in New Hampshire, claims to be a blueprint for where America's common sense majority wants the country to go. Oh my God. Let's pause here for a second. Blueprint for where America's common sense majority wants the country to go. Well, hold on now. What are your thoughts on raising the minimum wage to $20 an hour, which is now a majority position according to polling in this country? Is that in your platform? Is that in your platform? Well, if it's not, I guess you're not doing America's common sense majority policies now, are you? Because that is a common sense majority proposal. You know what else is a common sense majority proposal? Raising taxes on the wealthy. Is that in your shitty little blueprint? No, it's not. You want to know what else is a majority position? Universal health care. Is that in your shitty little blueprint? No, it's not. You know what else is a majority position? Support of unions. Is Card Check or the PRO Act in your shitty little blueprint? No, it's not. So look at the game that they play, the common sense majority of what the country wants to do. But they ignore all the areas where the common sense majority is just flat out left wing. It's just progressive. It's just social democratic. God, they're such frauds. Look, I'm gonna give you my overall breakdown in a minute, okay? Here's what they say. The 63-page document is short on specific proposals, but filled with the group's so far frustrated ambitions to reimagine the structure of the nation's polarized two-party politics. Solutions would be bipartisan. Compromise would be encouraged, and partisan red lines would be replaced by a sense of national solidarity. What happens when you have a situation where one party, the Democrats, wants to compromise on absolutely everything and loves bipartisanship, and the other party says, screw you, we don't want to make any deal at all, ever? What happens in that scenario? I'll tell you what happens. The Republicans get what they want. Why? Because they go no to anything the Democrats propose that's a middle ground, And then eventually the Democrats have to give away 80% or 90% to get a deal. That's what you're left with. And this is what No Labels wants. And they want to pretend like they're centrist and moderate and reasonable. That's not centrist or moderate or reasonable. We feel very confident in saying what is in here is another roadmap for where most Americans want the country to go. Again, not on the minimum wage, not on raising taxes on the rich, not on unions, not on expanding Medicare and Social Security and all these things. They want to cut it. No Label senior advisor Ryan Clancy said of the document, it leaves plenty of space for candidates and leaders to decide how to get there. The group is working across the country to get state ballot access. Oh my goodness. This is real, guys. Manchin may actually run for potential third-party presidential run next year, sparking widespread concern from Democrats and anti-Trump conservatives that the effort could aid the election of former President Trump. Former Representative Richard A. Gephardt and Senator Doug Jones are preparing to launch a group next week to undermine No Label's ambition. No Label's leaders have said they will only field a ticket if there is a clear path to victory. Okay, well, I got news for you. There's no path to victory at all, sorry guys, for any independent or third-party ticket. It's just not a thing. You have to get rid of first-past-the-post voting. You have to do it. You have to get rid of first-past-the-post voting, and you have to do ranked choice voting in order to have a path for a third party or an independent candidate. This is obvious. This is politics 101. Everything else is a freaking pipe dream. And anybody who knows anything about politics and is serious about it will tell you that. Ross Perot got like 19% of the vote running as an independent in the 1990s, and he didn't get a single electoral college vote. And that guy was a billionaire. He had unlimited funds. That's your ceiling in the current two-party system if you're going to run as an independent or a third party. Sorry, there's no other way around it, which is why I've always been a proponent of running in one of the two major parties to try to win that way, because that's the only way you have an actual chance unless you get rid of first-past-the-post voting and you implement ranked choice voting. So there is no clear path, but they might pretend that there is and move forward anyway, which has not been accomplished by a third-party contender since the inception of the current two-party system. The group has said any presidential candidates nominated at No Labels convention next year will have full autonomy to create their own policy platforms, making the common sense document released Saturday little more than a starting point to spur some more debate. We want to spur a conversation that is just not happening on a lot of issues, Clancy said. Joe Manchin and former Utah Governor Jon Huntsman will headline an event Monday in New Hampshire to kick off the conversation. So Joe Manchin is now campaigning in New Hampshire. That's what we just read right here. This is serious, man. Manchin, as a supporter of No Labels, has now ruled out running as a presidential candidate on the group's ticket. Many of the proposals in the No Labels plan are long-standing ideas that have not yet found majority support in Washington. A bipartisan deficit reduction commission that would produce a plan that Congress had to vote on without amendment. So in other words, austerity. Cut spending on the social safety net to quote-unquote balance the budget. Now, are they going to come out and say we got to cut military spending? Would they say that? Or corporate subsidies? Would they say that? Get rid of the tax cuts on the rich? Would they say that? No. They want to cut social safety net programs in order to quote-unquote balance the budget. Guys, this is just okay, I'll give you my main breakdown now, because this is the most important point. What is this group? What is this group? What is their goal? What are they actually doing here? This is the corporate party. It's not centrist, it's not moderate, we are the most pro-corporate of everybody involved. So they mask their intentions. They have this veneer of we're serious moderates and centrists, and we're just trying to do the common sense majority position. But in reality, this is a corporatist takeover where they want to somehow get the White House and get rid of Democrats and Republicans and just be left with so-called, high-minded independents or independent thinkers, but really they're just ushering in the corporate agenda. Because what you can see, if you go issue for issue, what you see here is this is everything corporations want. That's what it is. That's what it is. And outside of the things where they have real ideological commitments and positions, deficit reduction, tax cuts for the rich, things of that nature, outside of that, cutting the social safety net, outside of that stuff, it is on the social issues that they want to quote-unquote split the difference. Like, let's just compromise on abortion. Let's just compromise on gay rights. Let's just compromise on immigration. And again, the irony on that point is the Democrats already do. The Democrats already do compromise on immigration. They already do compromise on the border. They already do compromise on LGBTQ rights. They already do. So basically what these people are is economic Republicans, okay? and social liberals. That's what they are. That's what this group is. And really, they're going to be totally funded by corporations, which is why at the same time they're out there like, we must do what the common sense majority wants. They're not running on raising the minimum wage. They're not running on universal health care. They're not running on unions. They're not running on higher taxes on corporations and the rich. That just gives the game away right there. So look, that's what this is. Now understand, they can't win. That's obvious. There's no way around it. They might delude themselves into thinking they can, but they can potentially impact the race in a very strong way where it, Biden would otherwise win and then Trump ends up winning. Although, to be fair, I don't know if... I think it's still an open question as to who they would take more votes from, because there's some percentage, 10%, 20% of the Republican Party that are kind of like, they hate Trump, So would they take more from the Republican Party base or the Democratic Party base? That's a little bit up in the air. I don't know. But either way, I think you have the White House is kind of shook, not just at this potential effort, but also at the fact that Cornel West is already running, originally launched with the People's Party, now he's going to run with the Green Party. I think they're a little shook. But look, to the president, what I would say is, if you want to make sure you win, deliver for the people. Make it so people go, we don't need a third party, because this guy just delivered on, making the minimum wage higher. This guy just delivered on a public option for healthcare or whatever. Materially deliver more for the people, and then, you'll make it more likely more people will vote for you. But that's, good policy is good politics. But this is crazy. Manchin might actually run, and the No Labels group, I think the thing that annoys me the most about them is they pretend to be so high-minded and so intellectual and so reasonable, but really they are just the corporate party. That's all it is. They will represent corporations while splitting the difference on social issues. It is really gross, and I hate when people say, I'm in favor of the common sense majority, when they don't even support the positions that the majority of Americans support. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.